Good afternoon. Thank you again for joining me here at the end of the day. Nice to see some of you still stuck around even after this cold weather. Obviously, the operation that we started today is still underway, so I will share some statistics in a few minutes here. But it's fluid and we're still getting information as it comes in. For those who were not here this morning, our Safer Calgary is a concentrated effort to restore safety and confidence in our downtown core. We launched this initiative in response to concerns from Calgarians, and today we have already seen meaningful impact. While we were out conducting patrols on more than one occasion, we were approached by members of the public, even those in our vulnerable community, who were grateful for the work that was being done today. And I can tell you, when Deputy O'Brien and I were out talking with many of the individuals, it was absolutely just heartwarming to talk with everybody. The business owners, people who work in the downtown core, people who work in the downtown city, but even more importantly, those who were unhoused and those who were vulnerable. They came up to the deputy and I, they asked what we were doing down here, they shook our hands, they told us their name, they gave us high fives, they gave us knuckle knocks, and just were super appreciative, and we had great conversations. We talked about what they were doing for the day, were they warm enough, did they have enough food, and where they were headed for the rest of the day. So just really, really great conversations that I didn't expect for us to have. As I just alluded to, this operation was about more than enforcement. It's about showing Calgarians that their concerns are being heard and acted upon. Our increased visibility downtown is a deliberate signal. We are here, we are engaged, and we are committed to making our city safer. This is not a one-day operation. It builds on the momentum of Operation Certainty, which began in early 2025 and ran for 8 months. You can expect to see continued operations in the weeks and months ahead. A sincere thank you to our partners for being present and responsive today. Again, just a phenomenal opportunity to meet and greet and engage with so many of our social partners who are just doing an amazing job out there today alongside us. Our collaboration is essential to the success of this operation and to our shared goal of creating a safer, more supportive Calgary. As I said, I've got some statistics here for you, but they are still coming in and they are a bit fluid. But since we began at 8 o'clock this morning, our teams responded to 164 calls for service. We arrested 20 individuals. We executed 180 outstanding warrants and issued 77 summonses. We also laid 20 criminal code charges and seized several weapons and made over 66 referrals to social agencies. But again, that number is a bit fluid. And even as I just shared the story about the deputy and I, some of those informal referrals, those wouldn't have been captured in those numbers. So again, that's a very, very conservative number. And I will tell you that the deputy and I also went to our arrest processing section this afternoon just to have that visual and to see actually how many people had actually been taken there. And again, I can tell you the social partners that we had up at our APS section in order to have conversations with these individuals, offer them support, have wraparound conversations, and just to really engage as to what their next steps were is exactly what we committed to here this morning. Officers also engaged, and again, this number is very conservative, over 175 businesses and conducted 27 traffic stops. Again, in addition to what I spoke about, Cliff and I, the conversations that we had, we've also popped into many, many businesses as well, and people were so grateful and thankful for our presence here today. These efforts have disrupted patterns of criminal behavior and contributed to a measurable reduction in disorder across many areas. Most importantly, we have seen a renewed sense of safety in public spaces, albeit today over a short period of time, but we just wanted to share that. Our expectation, though, is that it stays this way. We are not walking away. The expectations we have set for respectful and appropriate behavior in public spaces remain. Our commitment to supportive accountability continues, and you will recall when I spoke about that this morning, it is about ensuring that those individuals who are arrested or that we engage with are connected to the appropriate resources. We will keep enforcing laws and bylaws, but always with care and always with a pathway to support. We know that a small number of individuals are responsible for a disproportionate amount of disruption. While we continue to focus our efforts where they matter most, while ensuring those need help can access it. Today, you have seen the significant number of resources required to conduct an operation of this size. This response is not sustainable with our current workforce, and we are working to identify the gaps with our partners to find better solutions. Operations like this require both sworn and civilian members from across the service who push other priorities aside. It also requires partner support across many sectors, as I spoke about. Safer Calgary is a movement. It is a commitment to building a city where everyone feels safe, supported, and respected. Thank you to all of our partners, all of our members, all of our community, to all of you for standing here together. Let's continue to strengthen our city for a safer Calgary. Thank you. I'm happy to take questions.
Chief, can you give us maybe an idea of what some of those charges that were laid as part of the arrest today?
So there would have been a wide variety. I just wanted to double check. So it would have probably been in the area of some of the things that I talked about this morning that's driving up some of those statistics. So possible assault, can't confirm, but for sure weapons and some drugs.
I know online there's been a bit of criticism against your previous quote in the day, arresting is connecting. Maybe you can reiterate exactly what that means so that it's a little more clearer for Calgarians what you meant by that.
Yeah, and that's a really great question because we've had lots of conversations about that. Again, it's not just about arresting individuals, and we don't want those who shouldn't have criminal records to have to go through the court system and go through the court process. It's about when people are actually arrested and we take them up to somewhere like our arrest processing section where we have our social partners, where we have our social agencies, where we have mental health workers, where we have social workers who are then there to connect them with the appropriate resources. So by actually arresting and taking them somewhere to our APS section, we're able to connect them to the appropriate resources rather than them just waiting for other resources to come to them.
Chief, this morning there wasn't a clear indication of how many officers were involved in the operation. Is there an idea how many overall were involved throughout the day so far?
Sorry? It's fair to say overall.
Yeah, so over 100 throughout the day. And then of course with our additional partners.
Chief, is it fair to say that with the city budget being deliberated later this month, that CPS will probably be coming to council with a request for a significant increase in its resources?
Yeah, for sure. We've been talking about that for quite some time, and so we have been quite public about the shortages that we currently face in the service. And for us to be able to do things like we have done today, it confirms that we do actually need those additional resources.
Is there a budget ask? Is there a dollar amount?
We're still figuring that out. We will go next year before City Council.
Chief, there's talk about from some of the members of the public about an operation of this size and magnitude and potentially doing this again, but in the evening hours when maybe crime might be a bit more prevalent, people walking downtown, might be a bit more scary for some folks. Is that something you guys would be open to potentially discussing? Of course, you guys want to continue doing stuff like this, but is that something maybe in the future you could see maybe an evening shift into the early morning hours?
For sure, and maybe when it's even a wee bit warmer too. So yeah, we have talked about that. As I said this morning, this isn't a one and done. Rest assured, my commitment is that we will do this again. And of course, we will look at the season, we will look at the time, and absolutely, we get that there's different crowds that come out at different times during different hours.
Chief, we saw that it was pretty slow this morning. Our walk around the East Village was, about the quietest I've ever seen the East Village. Is there maybe a reflection of that maybe word got out this was happening and people were staying away and avoiding doing social disorder type activities because they knew this was coming?
It's possible, as I just said, I think the weather maybe had a piece to do with it as well. But there was still, as you heard these numbers here, there was still tons of engagement, lots of connections. But again, just the connections and the engagement with the people who are just walking down in Stephen Avenue, walking in the area, who were out at the restaurants, who were in their businesses. Those were just fantastic connections as well today.
And Chief, as we know, new mayor and council as of 2 weeks ago, was this kind of maybe a show from the police service to say this is what it takes to govern and work downtown, and maybe the fact of the matter is we need more boots on the ground in city council? Can we see some more
Yeah,
money, some more officers?
There was nothing strategic about the timing about this. We had actually been talking about this for the last several months, shortly after since I came into this position. So the timing is just the timing, and it's got nothing to do with that with the new council standing up last week.
Any other questions?
I just want to get one off topic. You know, you mentioned it this morning about the 19% of officers
Yeah.
that are currently on leave. There's a lot of talk about PTSD, of course, within officers. What's maybe the CPS doing, maybe connecting those officers with support? I know you talked about a robust plan this morning. Are you able to allude and kind of elaborate a little bit to what that robust plan might be for a lot of these officers that are on leave?
Yeah, so we've got numerous resources, numerous teams that assist all of our individuals, and so, as I said, it's quite complex and there's lots to that. Just to confirm for your numbers, so 19% being accommodated, 6% truly off, 13% still working in the service, and you know, you kind of mentioned that the PTSD. This is a tough job, and we get exposed to a lot of trauma, and there's a lot of members who have been injured on the job, and so there's lots of different supports that many of those individuals require, and so we've got a multifaceted team of many experts that probably could go well into the. Wouldn't even want to guess what the numbers are, but and in fact I would say that across the country we're one of the police services that have so many resources that we're able to assist our members and give them the support that they need.